Oh, the process is very simple. You fill in your form, meet the requirements, have them signed off, and you deposit them in the registry. That's exactly what I've done. Like in every democracy, it's very good that everyone has been given an opportunity to file their papers because they believe they've got something they're bringing to football. And this is why football, by its nature, it's a unifying factor for the country. We've always been united. So when you hear people talk about bringing unity, it's campaign gimmicks. Of course, those who are outside believe that they've been taken out. It's not us as individuals. You need to understand football is a rule-based game. So even where rules apply, there's nothing you can do. I'm sure you remember we had the Musa proposal. Complaints were made, but the crux of that proposal was very simple. They were asking to bring everyone who had been sanctioned to come back to football. But football has got its own rules, and this is why when we agreed, we offered everyone an opportunity to have their case heard. And out of that, I think 2 or 3 were reinstated. But you cannot make decisions purely on emotion. Football is a rule-based game, and you have to follow the rules. We came up with a new constitution. That's when all these things you hear about integrity test came in, because we basically aligned our constitution to FIFA, and those were minimum requirements. I'm running in another election for FIFA, and I had to go through the same process. And I'm sure you know, there are people who did not pass the integrity check there. So if FIFA is doing it, when it comes to Zambia, whoever fails, it's Kamanga. I think we need to be honest with ourselves. These are rules which apply across all member associations of FIFA. The reason why we have them is very simple. FIFA has standardized how football is managed. It's almost like saying in Zambia you don't want to have the integrity check because it will affect 1 or 2 people. And yet, we are playing the same football. If we go to the football on the pitch, the rules are the same. Offside is applied the same everywhere. So it's almost like saying you want to have your own offside rule for Zambia, which will favor a few people. So for that reason, I think we need to be very consistent. And just to answer your question, why I believe that I need to continue. First of all, when I came in 2016, it was a difficult period. The men's national team wasn't doing very well, and as a consequence, we had challenges. We couldn't even qualify to Africa Cup. In the first 4 years of my term, we did not make it to Africa Cup. In the second term, which started in 2021, we qualified not once, but twice. So in 2022, because of the work we had done between 2016 and 2021, we were able to see the results. We qualified all the teams to the Africa Cup. Under 17, under 20, senior men, senior women. The story is the same. In 2024, we qualified to all the AFCON tournaments, which we are going to play this year. So for me, what you need to appreciate is that the first term we were putting the foundation. The second term we've been able to build, and we've reached the roof level. That's why in 2022, 2024, we've been able to deliver on all tournaments. We are going to Africa Cup. Then the next term is basically to put the roof. And what is the roof? We have to aspire to win the cup competitions in all the tournaments we are going to compete in. We've never been to the Men's World Cup. We are still in contention, but we believe that if we get the maximum 12 points, we should be able to go into the playoffs and still have a chance to go to the World Cup for the men for the first time. One of the most important changes that you should appreciate, again going back to 2017, when I came in, the constitution which was there did not have term limits. So it was the first time that we amended the constitution in 2017 to allow for only a maximum of 3 terms. So when people are telling you that there is no third term, it's there in the constitution. We are not doing anything illegal. That is why the cycle of football works in 4 years. If you work over a period of 3 terms, you should be able to see what you've done. So with the example I've given, we've been able to build the foundation, we've raised the building, we are now putting the roof, which is the next term. And what does it entail? I'll be rolling out the manifesto next week. For those who want to hear more, I'll be able to share with you. But when I started out in 2016, we had a document which we talked about, SCORE, where we promised to reorganize the leagues. That is what you are seeing today. We've got 10 provinces, we've decentralized, we've got various national teams working, we've got everything that we set out to do. For the first time, we were able to give all the clubs in the country equipment support in form of footballs, jerseys, and even grants. That never happened. So even those clever accountants who are claiming that the liabilities for FAZ have gone up, they are comparing to the time before we came in 2016. The liability was very small. But where we are sitting today, the liability appears to be big. But you're not comparing like with like, for the simple reason that we are now running 72 clubs in each province. That's 720 clubs countrywide, and all of them being supported by FAZ. So when you look at the scale of operation and the cost, the amounts are huge. That is why we've now taken a deliberate step that going forward in the last term, our focus is going to make FAZ financially independent. So that will be the platform on which I'll be running. That we need to get to a point where we reduce our dependence on government. First of all, thanks to government, they've been very supportive. They pay for the senior men, senior women, they pay for the coach, but we also contribute. But like everything else, a day will come when government will tell us, sorry guys, we have more important priorities to attend to. It could be health, it could be education, and football will just be treated as a social activity. So we believe that we have to be the ones to take the steps to make football financially independent so that we reduce our dependence on government. Ask me a question that I've passed the FIFA integrity test and I can fail the first one. And it's the same form that I've filled. You are a journalist. You are saying I've got cases at DEC. You can go and check if that case is still there. I don't have to answer. Those matters were resolved in November and consents were agreed. So remember, I also had cases. I even sued DEC for my passport. So all those cases were consolidated and agreed as a consent. So it's behind us. I think there's nothing which stops anybody from being part of FAZ. I think in my time that I've been here, I've actually engaged all the FAZ presidents for their council on a number of issues. And I think I remember in 2017, 2018, when we started the Copper brand, we had actually gone to Ghana for the awards where Patson was given the Young Player of the Year award in 2018. And I'm sure you remember there's a photo where there's myself, my predecessor, and Patson. And we had a conversation, and I was sharing that, look, if you are not involved in the administration, you can still be with us at FAZ in a different role. And we offered that he could be our brand ambassador for Copper. And nothing stops him from doing that. Even this time round, we'll be happy for our immediate past FAZ president to be associated with FAZ in that respect. So we'll be very, very happy if he took up that role as our brand ambassador. Because, for instance, this year, all the 5 national teams are going to Africa Cup. If he's the ambassador, he's the one representing us and going with the teams. We've got under 17 in Morocco in March, April. We've got under 20 in May in Ivory Coast. We've got the women senior in Morocco in July. We've got the Chan in East Africa in August. And we've got the main Africa Cup in December.